Okay. I think one thing that I really dislike is a person who thinks that they're smarter than they are. You know? Because if you were really as smart as you think you are, you wouldn't hold on to hate the way that you do, because hate is not a very good thing to hold. Today is Sunday, and Sunday is usually a day that people go to church and stuff like that. And I'm on live stream, trying to work, trying to do my thing, and well, not trying to, I was. And then my mom came downstairs, turned on the TV, turned on the church, and was just moving around like super hatefully. And I'm like, how you gonna turn on church and then you gonna like be hateful? You know what I mean? Like, and I've said this before, but a lot of people want the appearance of success, want the appearance of being a good person, but they don't actually want to be those things. And I think it's so backwards. Like, why do you care so much about what other people think? You know what I mean? Like, why? And when I say moving around hatefully, what I mean is that, like, you see that I'm live streaming, you see that I'm trying to talk to people, and you don't acknowledge me. You don't say good morning or anything. You turn on the TV and you're just walking around just as if I'm not around. Like, that's what I mean. And then it just boils down to the notion of, like, you need help. You need therapy. Because ain't no way you walk around thinking like that, moving like that, you think it's okay. Like, what? No. And I can already feel like some of you watching this or listening to this and being like, well, it's her house, you can feel however you want. The thing is, though, this is true, yes. But how do I say this? Because as a God-aligned person, I see it so clearly that, like, it's really just a hierarchical issue. Like, she wants to believe that she's better than me. She wants to believe that she's better than other people. And I was watching a video about this the other day. Like, people who think like this, people who think with hierarchy in mind, are often the type of people who don't show any sense of curiosity towards people below them or people that they perceive to be below them. You know? Like, a true master knows that they can learn from anything and anybody. You know, a master at their craft is not going to look at somebody who is beneath them and go, I'm better than you, I have nothing to learn from you, fuck you. Like, no. That's what a fucking immature person does. That's what a person who doesn't have cognitive thinking skills does. You know? And like I said, I do believe if you have hate in your heart, you're not a very smart person. Like, if you actively hold hate in your body and you don't try to, like, minimize it, you're crazy. You're mentally unwell. Because, quite honestly, hate is a very destructive energy. I remember when I went to rehab, there was this one chick, really loved her, she was really awesome, and I asked her how she was the way that she was energetically, and she was basically saying that it was partially due to hate, like spite. Like, there were people who told her that she couldn't do what she was doing or whatever, and she was like, you know what, fuck y'all, I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'm gonna do it spitefully. And I think that's a positive example. But, like, even still, I think when you hold hate in your heart, it really is destructive to some degree. I don't know, I have to think about the future. I have to think about where I want to be and not where I'm at, because eventually I'll be able to get away from here. But it's so tragic, it's so sad that people act the way that they do and somehow think that they deserve a good life. You know what I mean? People treat people the way that they do, behave the way that they do, and still somehow have it in their minds that, like, oh yeah, I deserve good things. I should be around positive people. Even though I'm not a positive person, even though I fucking make people want to fucking kill themselves, I deserve goodness. I deserve positive things. What? You deserve a punch in the face. That's what you deserve. Like, truly, to think that you should have some sort of control over somebody else's life, that you should be able to dictate how somebody else's life goes, is so, I don't know, evil, low-key. I think it's evil. Like, even if the intention is not evil, I think it's evil. You know? I went on live stream today. It was very nice. It was very fun until my mom interrupted. And I don't know, I've been doing this thing where I reflect questions back to people. Like, if somebody asks me a certain type of question, I'll be like, okay, well, let me reflect the question back to you. How do you feel about the situation? How do you want to move forward? Because you're asking me what should happen or what's going to happen, but what do you want to happen? Excuse me for the burp. I remember one person asked about their ex, and they were like, is my ex happy with their new person, and are they gonna feel bad for what they did or whatever? And I basically asked them, I was like, well, I pulled cards for them because they sent me gifts, but I was like, do you want to be with this person, or are you being vindictive and you just want them to be miserable? Because like, and like, I kept reflecting questions back to them and they couldn't really answer clearly. Like, occasionally they would answer, but then they were just like, no, I was just curious. And I'm like, okay, I don't know, like, I use divination for practicality reasons. Like, I want to be able to use it and be like, okay, now I have clarity, now I know what to do. But a lot of people use it just to have some sort of certainty in their mind. You know what I mean? A lot of people use tarot and divination to just kind of have an awareness of things instead of like, what is the best option for me? You know? And I don't know, maybe it's a good thing that people trust themselves so much, but I do think that sometimes people trust themselves to a certain detriment. You know what I mean? People believe in their own BS to a point where it becomes destructive. You know, it's like, I stopped there because I thought about it towards myself. I applied it towards myself and I was like, oh, I'm a dumb bitch. But yeah, I do talk about that occasionally. Like, I think divination is meant to be for clarity and awareness, not certainty or like definitive answers. A lot of people are like, what's going to happen in the future? And it's like, from my perspective, if you can't have a genuine understanding that the future is not set in stone, you're going to cause a lot of confusion for yourself and for others probably, because you're looking at the future as if it's some sort of set in stone thing when it's not. Now, for the sake of you having your own authority or whatever, you can believe whatever you want. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but that is my perspective. Like, the future is not set in stone. The future is based off of our present actions, you know? And I think if somebody's really good at divination, really good at seeing the future, then it can be more clear. But to rely on divination as a sort of fortune-telling thing, I think is irresponsible and like not that smart of an idea, personally. I don't know. I genuinely just want the best for everybody. And unfortunately, a really painful truth is that not everybody is capable or willing to do what it is necessary to make themselves happy. And unfortunately, even more so, some people will go out of their way to make other people unhappy so that they don't have to feel so alone in their unhappiness. You know what they say? Misery loves company. It's so sad. It's so tragic, but it is what it is. And that's why it is so necessary, if you have the ability to, if you have the awareness to not deal so intimately with people who operate this way, who feel this way, who move so insecurely, you know. I actually forgot my train of thought, so I hope that connected. I hope that made sense the way I finished that. Also, I haven't smoked today. I did make some money, and I plan on putting some of that away towards the car fund, and then some of that towards smoking. We're gonna smoke before work, I think. And I know that I don't need to. I wouldn't have if I didn't make any money. I would have just continued going on throughout my day. But I did make money, and so here we are, you know. It is really sad, though, to think about how people allow their pain to control them, you know. Because we all experience pain to some degree. Hello, buttons. We all experience pain. But I think the worst of it is when you allow your pain to dictate how you navigate and, like, how much you hurt people, if that resonates, if that makes sense. I feel like I could have said that better, but like, I've experienced severe addiction. Sometimes I still am in that energy, and 9 times out of 10 I feel like the only person that I'm hurting is myself. You know what I mean? I'm not stealing from anybody. I'm not like going out of my way to hurt anybody to get what I need, like, which unfortunately a lot of people do. A lot of people feel that pain, that suffering, and they don't know what else to do. They feel like they don't know better. They feel like they don't have any better options. So they steal, so they lie, so they cheat, whatever. And I think, this is a very impromptu thought, but I think for my folks out there who tend to internalize and go within with their suffering, I think it is necessary for you to find an outlet. You know, because those people who spew their shit onto other people, who project their shit on other people, they have an outlet. They have an ability to, like, get it off of their chest. But you hold everything inside because you don't want to be rude to people. You don't want to be mean to people, which is good, which is beautiful. But you need an outlet, whether it's singing, whether it's going boxing, whether it's throwing up in the woods. I don't know. But you need an outlet because everything is energy, and you don't want to bottle up energy. You don't want to You don't want to hold things in and wait until you explode. You know what I mean? You could do that, but you don't. That's not a good idea. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. There's a truck coming towards me, so I might have to veer off or something. I don't know what's going on, but there's a truck coming in my direction. It stopped. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna come and kidnap me. But yeah, a lot of people are dumb. A lot of people are destructive, and you gotta really be careful about that. You gotta be careful about who you trust, who you allow into your energy, all that stuff. I'm gonna end this here. I hope you know. God loves you. I hope you know. Whatever you're going through is temporary. Try to keep your head up. Try to keep your spirits high. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.